Although it's a period film, I don't think it feels like remote history. It feels very immediate, and the subject matter and themes feel very relevant. I wonder what it was that wanted to make you bring this story to the screen.
It's funny you should mention it because when I read about the Marstons for the first time, it just blew my mind. Like I couldn't believe that I first didn't know this story and that everybody else didn't know this incredible love story, that it was at the heart of Wonder Woman. And what struck me was how contemporary a story it was, even though it took place, we go back to the late 20s through the 40s, but everything they're talking about could be happening now.
And how important was it for you to focus on those three characters? It's a biopic, but it's a very even-handed one, isn't it?
Yeah. It's interesting. I set out starting to just write a very conventional biopic about William Moulton Marston, but then I realized that you can't tell a story about Wonder Woman without really exploring the women in his life who inspired her. So in the film actually shifts POVs from his POV into his wife Elizabeth's POV and then into their mutual lover Olive Byrne's POV, and we kind of switch between them throughout the film, which kind of, I think, gives a fuller picture.
And the sex scenes are very important in this film, particularly. I loved seeing the dynamics between characters and the kind of power shifts that were explored in the film. What was your approach to them, and how did you sort of put your actors at ease for those?
The actors were so incredible, and they really came to the project with so much commitment to tell this story and so much emotional honesty that by the time we shot those scenes, they had really developed a trust with me and a trust with each other. And I think that in a lot of movies that have sex scenes, like the actors are acting and the directors are directing, and then everybody stops and they shoot the sex scene and then they resume the movie. And so I really tried. It was very important that to act and have them act each moment, and that the sex scene was part of the movie, was part of how they came together. But to me, there's this dialectic between fantasy and reality. So it was about them being free. It wasn't about them having sex. It was about them discovering their true selves and having the freedom to do that.
And could you talk a bit about deciding which frames of the comic book to use, and if you were surprised by some of the material there, some of the sort of the bondage aspects and that kind of thing as you look through the comics, the older comics?
It's an incredible. I encourage anybody to read the first 7 years of the Wonder Woman comic, because the artwork is incredible and the storytelling is incredible. But what really leapt off the page to me is how radical some of the panels are, and we explored them in the movie because when Wonder Woman first came on the scene, she was a huge commercial success right off the bat. But then there was pushback because Marston had very deliberately, which the film explores, inserted bondage imagery as kind of a metaphor into the Wonder Woman comics. And then there was pushback on how he included that. So part of the storytelling of the movie is to look and see all of the panels. And I think when you see them, it's a pretty incredible experience because they're very powerful.
Angela Robinson, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations again on the
Thanks
film.
so much.